Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be going over some tips of how you can make your manga and storyboarding and my storyboarding process that I do to make mine. So, mine isn't published by the way yet. I'm working on it. But basically my first step to the process would be thinking about what's going to happen and then writing it down. For example, maybe you could have like two friends doing something after school. So then we write down what would happen. Like, we would say, like, they make plans to do something after school, and we write that down. And then, that can be the scene. And this could be, like, the first page. The second and third step in my process would be making the rough draft that I wrote down here, changing some stuff up, and then the third step would be editing what I put, and checking with other people like family or friends to see what they think might need to be changed. And you can be open to suggestions. So, the first thing I did when I did this was I changed one to come over to his house. I changed it to one to go to the woods. And I put, sure, why not? And then I put the woods. So after you've done that, you can make all the edits that you want. Like, I decided I didn't want to just keep it at school, so I put it super school. Or like, I put Hey Joe and Hey Josh because that's the characters' names. And so I left it like that. And instead of leaving like that, I changed it because I didn't feel like people would understand. And also, when you're doing the rough draft, don't put too much effort into it, like the drawing of it, because then you might want to like change something and you won't want to change it because you put so much work into it that you won't want to change it. Okay, so the next part of my process is redrawing it, but more detailed and with all the edits I made. And sometimes even more edits, like you see what I did here. But since I didn't have all the time to do all this, I'm going to show you an example. So this was like one of my rough drafts, and this is one of my second rough drafts. So basically, I had the idea, then I redrew it, I made some changes. Obviously, I've made more detail. And then I did this. And you can make another one after this, but that's optional. Okay, so the last part of my process would be either making another page and redoing it, or I would make another rough draft if I wasn't happy with it. Anyway, so I usually would just make another, not another rough draft, the more finished part before I scan it. So I would do the inking and the speed lines. And if you want, you can get this paper or do it on regular paper. I like this because it's bigger, so it lets me do some more detail when I scan it. But basically, you just draw this, and then you draw it, and then you could scan it, or you could just do it traditionally without scanning it, whatever you prefer. So my first tip, which is optional, is if you're doing buildings in your thing, and you could try to learn the 3 perspectives, like 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, and 3-point perspective to make it more 3D and less 2D. Because it'll really help with your work and make it a little more 3-dimensional, I guess. And give you more options like this type of scene or this or this. But it's all optional and up to you. And maybe you have a background artist or whatever. It all depends on your preference. But this tip is optional.